Oh, you got no. We got no.
Is this where I'm supposed to say, what is all this about? And he says, shut up, I asked the question. Yeah.
Exactly. Hello, guys, and welcome back to Small Screen Live, or I think I am going to redub it the Small Screen Show. I just prefer that name. I hope you guys are doing well. We've got a lot to talk about today. I don't know. We're aiming for about like an hour-long show. We're going to be bringing some people in. Some of you guys in there watching now as well. But we're going to be talking a little bit about the Batman, a little bit about some Joker news involving that movie. We're going to be talking about Doctor Strange 2 cameos in that as well. The Peacemaker finale as well. I haven't seen it, but there has been quite a lot of news about it. And oddly enough, we're going to be talking about Animal Crossing as well. We're going to talk about that game that came out. When did it come out? The beginning of the pandemic?
5 years ago.
It feels a bit like that, yeah. But
oh no, sorry. The Switch was 5 years ago. Yeah, it came out beginning of the pandemic. How you doing, Edward?
Yes.
I'm doing great. Thanks for
asking. How are you doing, James? I hope you're doing well. And I hope everyone in the chat is doing well too. Who do we have in the chat? Yeah, like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. Please, thank you. If you're watching and you haven't done that already, please like and subscribe, and also quack that notification bell, as we always say in our videos. Right, we've got Kevin Feige in the chat, so that's a good start, isn't it? He just says ninjas. Jedi Master EJ saying hello there.
Hello there.
And then we have Bobbi Anderson in the chat saying hello, everyone. Hello to you, Bobbi. I hope you're doing very well. And Bobbi's our resident Animal Crossing expert, so she might be coming in a minute to talk about Animal Crossing. That's going to be fun.
This is a good time to thank her for all the bells.
Actually, Bobbi, I need some more bells. We'll talk about that in a second. Who else do we have in the chat? We have, yes, Jedi Master EJ again saying hey, Bobbi. Everyone say hey to Bobbi. And Raj says, "Hey guys, at that James guy, at Jennifer EJ, at Roberta, Bobby Anderson, at Kevin Feige." So many great people in the chat, and we have Kazakh saying, "Hello everybody, Bobby, everybody."
Yeah.
So we also have Sean Harrigan in the chat saying, "Happy Monday all?" Question mark. It is Monday. It's a bit weird. We're doing this on a Monday. We couldn't get to it on a Friday, and then we decided to do it on a Monday. We've got no Clint today, which is a shame.
Cocainum.
Kazakhs, they're saying Sean Harrigan. And Sean Harrigan, my man. There you go. I think is that everybody in the chat? I think that's everybody. Yeah, oh no, Reese75 is in the chat saying hello there. I hope you're doing well, Reese.
Fuck that.
No! You can tell that James is back, can't you? Who else do we have? We have Socks Bulletins saying, "Hey all, I hope you're doing well." Socks Bulletins.
Been a while for that one.
It has been a while. Vodka Soda, just in time. Yes, you were just in time. We are live now. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. Hopefully relating to the stuff we're talking about, but also questions in general. Johan Rittenhauser, is that how you pronounce that name? Saying hello there.
Wow, what can I say?
Rittenhauser. Spooky Bats Gaming saying hello to Kaz. We've also got Spooky Bats saying hello, lol. And Pop Culture Corner saying hello, boys. Or
What's
lads.
up, Tyler?
Yes.
Hello, Spooky.
What's up? And we've got demands for cocainum from Kazakhs. Is that one coming up? I think that we've already just done it. I've just woken up, had a nap before, so I'm a bit sleepy.
You lie!
I don't actually.
Пошли, все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
This
true.
is really going back.
Yeah, we're like old school in this one right now. And Reese, that's true. That's why I deleted the asshole at the bar clip for you, because I actually do love you. What's up, Crow?
Crow's Nest. Yo all. And hello to you. Who else do we have? Actually, James, bring up Pop Culture Corners here. Scoops are going to be dangerous for Doctor Strange. That's an interesting one. Because this is it's like anybody. We're going to be talking about Doctor Strange 2 cameos in this show, because it seems as though anybody and everybody that's anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be in this movie, and Scoopers have been having a very fun time with that film. Right, sure. What and is there any? Is that it? Is that all the comments again? If you family. If you do have any comments or questions, don't hesitate. Put them in the chat. Any questions about anything.
I have a question.
What's your question, James?
So Green Lantern and Peacemaker.
I haven't heard anything about Green Lantern and Peacemaker.
Sorry, Green Arrow. I meant. So.
Green Arrow.
See, if I said Green Arrow properly, you would have done a spit take there.
Yeah, no comment on that one. But it's
Let's get on with the news.
Let's get on with the news. And that's that. So should we start off? Actually, again, I haven't watched the Peacemaker finale, so I can't really comment on that. But I'm pretty sure that you might
get Plum in here.
Yeah.
And Raj,
but should we start off with Doctor Strange 2? As that's the first picture in the banner. Doctor Strange 2. So at the moment, all the cameos that are supposedly confirmed for that one. I mean, there's only really one cameo that's confirmed, really, and that's Professor X. That's
Yeah, but even Patrick Stewart
even
said in an interview recently, he's like, "Well, there's a lot of people that have been imitating my voice for 50 years."
Yeah, but that's probably I said it in the article. That's probably the best like excuse any of these actors have ever come up with for any of this sort of
Better
thing.
than Andrew Garfield.
Better than Andrew Garfield. He's saying that that's probably someone imitating him. I would highly doubt that. I'm going to be honest, especially the fact that we know that we know that he's been talking to Kevin Feige, and it would make a lot of sense for him to be in this film and be like the head of the Illuminati at the moment. That's the theory that's going around there. But the other, I mean, we've heard so many other names like Mr. Fantastic. We've heard that John Krasinski is going to be playing a variant of Mr. Fantastic in this movie. Black Bolt is another one. The Anson Mount version of that character, or Anson Mount playing Black Bolt, which is, I think that's utter like just completely insane to bring back him to play that character.
I don't know. I could see it happening. I mean, like he's a good actor, you know.
But it's not the fact that he's
bad.
Well, yes, but also it's the fact that they're kind of just acknowledging that show. Even if it isn't that version of the character, it's still acknowledging that show existed. Which I find it interesting, but I don't know.
First, John Herman, hello to Germany. And Yamal Kumarasiri, hello. I did hear that Blade. Someone made an interesting observation. They think Blade is the one walking into that room during the Illuminati part of the Doctor Strange trailer.
Why would Blade be there? Well, Mahershala Ali's version of the character.
Well, he's immortal, right?
Would this be Mahershala Ali?
Yeah, or maybe it's Wesley Snipes. And he's playing someone else, like the Immortal.
I don't know. I mean, at the moment, this film sounds utterly bonkers. Like, I'll just quickly go through all of the supposed. So the ones that people are saying are going to be in the film.
Actual movie is going to be about, Edward. It's just going to be like 30-second clips of title cards with the actors' faces of all the cameos for 2 hours. That's it. It's just going to be a slideshow of cameos.
With like, you know, Sam Raimi. What are those shots that he does called where they really the zoom in?
Yeah, the push-ins. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ones that these are the cameos that people are saying going to be in the movie: Professor X, Patrick Stewart; Captain Carter, Haley Atwell; Captain Marvel, Lashana Lynch playing Captain Marvel, apparently. Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski; Black Bolt, Anson Mount; Clea, played by Charlize Theron. That's one I hadn't seen before. And then also there's going to be Boulder the Brave and Magneto in this movie. Now, this is all speculation. None of this is confirmed, and I'm not going to talk about where it comes from. But the ones that aren't going to be in the movie apparently is Sir Ian McKellen's Magneto, and also James McAvoy's Professor X. So it's going to be Sir Patrick Stewart's Professor X, not James McAvoy, apparently. And then finally, the final one I've been hearing a lot about is a Wolverine variant, possibly played by Daniel Radcliffe. It's just like, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, maybe people are.
I still think Hugh Jackman is going to pop in.
I mean, it would make sense for him if Patrick Stewart's going to be in the movie, which the trailer is clearly hinting at him being in the film. That for me is the big reveal in that trailer, and the fact that the Illuminati is going to be in this movie, which means there will be some, you know, kind of tribunal scene, I think, where, you know, the Illuminati. You have a theory that might be Blade, though, not Doctor Strange going.
Well, that's what I just read that today, and I thought it was an interesting theory, and it does kind of make sense because of you can kind of see a bit of costume. But I mean, we'll have to see. Do you think it's going to be Mr. Fantastic? Do you think he's going to be
Well, that would be like really harkening back to like the original Illuminati, which Reed Richards was a member of. So it would make sense for that, but I don't see why they would have John Krasinski play that role, because if that were the case, they could just get the guy, what's his name, the Welsh guy that was in the Fantastic Four movies.
Ian Goffold.
Yeah, and I think he'd be pretty good, actually. I mean, those movies weren't great, but he wasn't a bad Reed Richards, and I think now he probably looks even better, a bit aged. I think that would serve that character quite well, actually. But
he was pretty good in those movies. I have to admit, like, it was just, but I don't know. I think if it is, because the reports are that it's John Krasinski, and if it is, then I think it'll be a variant, right?
Yeah, it'll be a variant of the character. I don't.
Like, this is all going to be like. I think this is all going to be just like, hey, we're acknowledging everything like we did with Spider-Man: No Way Home. Now we're going to hit the reboot button like we do in all our Crisis comics, and then we'll start fresh. But they still exist, so the fans are happy, because Marvel is all about fan service, but in a tasteful way that doesn't take away from the character story arcs, but gives you a bunch of plot holes. But we let it slide anyway. So. Yeah.
It's becoming more and more fan servicey, like Marvel, because they weren't that. I think now, ever since No Way Home came out, I think a lot of people are kind of thinking, well, Marvel's ready to do anything, and it really does seem to me like they've really altered. Gone.
No, well, they kind of said that since Iron Man 1 when they brought in Sam Jackson at the end. You know,
yeah,
like, they've been up for anything since the beginning, and then when Infinity War, they like meshed everyone together, and then Endgame, you know, like I think they realized that Phase 4 was a bit of a slow start, and now they're just trying to really amp it up, you know, and because of the pandemic screwing up the release order of the Disney Plus shows, so now it's like Spider-Man: No Way Home was a good co-production with Sony, and now Doctor Strange is their chance to like knock it out of the park of Marvel, just the Marvel camp.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's going to be.
But do you think a lot of this might be a bit of a reaction to how popular No Way Home proved to be? Because all those, it's what the reports at the moment are suggesting, that all of the reshoots of the movies were to add these characters, were to add these cameos. Do you, like, I just want to know, do you think there's any validity to that? And if so, what does that mean for the future of the MCU if they're more willing to put cameos over story?
See, I don't think it's a reaction, because from what I understand, the way Marvel's done things in the last 10 plus years is they'll have a plan A, a plan B, and plan C. I mean, look at Civil War. If they couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. to be in Civil War, they already had another script ready to go to make it a completely different movie. So I think if there was anything reactionary about it, was that they were waiting to see how Spider-Man No Way Home did. And then they're like, okay, so now we have our plan B here just in case it does bonkers. And then we can get a bunch of cameos in. If not, then we'll just limit the amount of cameos. But I mean, I think they realize what the fans want. It's like they want, and we've been screaming about it for years now. We want to see the X-Men in the MCU. We want to see the Fantastic Four in the MCU. We want Blade. Like, these are not small little voices. Like, it's a huge crowd that wants all these things. So, and if they have a chance to satisfy that and bring them in where it makes sense in the story, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do that, and especially with the multiverse. I mean, and again, I don't think it's too, maybe because of the success of No Way Home, they decided to add more cameos, but I think it was always in the plan, because they've been setting this up with Loki season 1 and No Way Home, right? And then they've been dropping things about the multiverse too. So way before that.
That makes sense, and I mean, I'm desperate to see this. Like, this is my most anticipated movie of 2022 is the one that's coming out in a few days, is the Batman. But there's something about Doctor Strange 2 that having Sam Raimi be the director, bringing back him, like, that trailer really did actually showcase to me that this movie has a lot of Sam Raimi in it. Like there are a lot of shots in this film, in this trailer especially, that I was just like, wow, you can really tell that this is a Sam Raimi movie.
Well,
I just hope. Go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, all I hope is that the cameos don't detract from the overall film and make it a lesser movie because of it.
Well, I was thinking about this recently because I doubt that they would get Sam Raimi unless they agreed for him to have some form of creative control or oversight because of the headache he went through with Spider-Man 3 having too many characters. I think he's got to be on board with this to have these cameos and these characters come up, and that he'll have some director oversight to how the film will come out. Because I think that's the only way they would be able to land Raimi for this. Unless it was part of the deal with No Way Home to give his trilogy a good send-off. And then like, hey, Sammy, we'll give you this present if you give us this present, right? So.
Yeah. It's interesting. I suppose one of the things I've seen a lot of people talking about is what I thought was a Captain Marvel variant in the trailer. I don't know. A lot of people have been talking about how that character that's fighting Wanda could actually be a variant, a Kang variant. I've seen people say. Iron Lad is another one I've heard people talk about, because a lot of people have like really honed in on that that shot and been like, this whoever this is, it's a black actor in the role. So when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be Monica Rambeau and a variant of her, so like from a different universe where she is Captain Marvel, which I thought made sense. But do you have any theories about that character, who that might be?
No? Not really. Just because this is the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Just because when we saw in our Spider-Man's theories and predictions video, my prediction was that, you know, it could be a variant Doctor Strange, and I was wrong unless they reveal that it was a variant Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange 2. But I mean, it could be Kang. You know, that makes perfect sense. Why would you give him a bunch of exposition at the end of Loki? And, you know, Loki and WandaVision were both leading into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I like the Nova theory. I
remember you saying it was Nova. Yeah. I think the more I look at it, the more I think that is Jonathan Majors. Like, it just looks a lot like Jonathan Majors.
I'd never seen this picture before until just now. So it does look a lot like him.
It looks a lot like Jonathan Majors, and again, I think there's a lot of misdirect in this trailer. I think there's a lot of altered footage that they did. Of course, they did it with all of the No Way Home stuff. Like, there's that whole, you know, the scene on the Empire, not the Empire State Building, what's the Statue of Liberty. That whole scene was completely altered for the trailers. They literally removed so many characters. So I'm pretty sure they've done. Marvel does this all the time. So I'm pretty sure they've removed a lot of the characters.
Infinity War too.
Yeah, so they're constantly doing that. But we've got Jessica in the chat saying it's either Monica Rambeau or Lashana Lynch. I don't know. Like, it would be good to have Lashana Lynch come back. Either character. Monica Rambeau is going to play a pretty important part in the Marvels as well, which is the second Captain Marvel movie. So there's going to be more of her. Prince Zodiac. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to? Prince Zodiac says,
do you think they could be introducing? Go ahead, man.
Do you think they could be introducing us to the animation to the animation to live action transition with Captain Carter, Zombie Wonder, etc., and then use the X-Men 92 to 97 shows to pull from and serve as the mutants' history?
100%.
This is something they could definitely be doing. I do think there's an animated universe they go into. And first off, the fact that like they're doing the whole zombie Doctor Strange and zombie WandaVision in this movie is crazy. I love that. And those are some of the visuals that I'm like, wow, this is very getting close to like Army of Darkness territory and Evil Dead territory with Sam Raimi. And that's probably what like really interested him were those scenes. I mean, the money as well doing a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But
And to play with these characters in a big sandbox again, right?
Yeah. But Prince Zodiac also goes on to say it looks like Iron Lad to me. So I've heard a lot of people suggesting Iron Lad, which, I mean, I'd love them to bring that character in. There have been lots of rumors as to what they're doing with that character. But I mean, I think
answer this?
Go on.
Yeah. I think, we have the Captain Carter shield in the poster for Doctor Strange 2. And yeah, we saw Zombie Wanda, and I'm not sure if that's Zombie Doctor Strange or whatever the name is that someone told me. I can't remember. But yeah, I think that was Zombie Wanda we saw with all the blood all over her. Or maybe she just like messed some people up because she's pissed off that she doesn't have her sons anymore. But yeah, Mikey did write an article about a scoop a couple days ago about the X-Men 97 show being a part of Doctor Strange 2. So they're obviously pulling from the animation side of Marvel. I mean, like What If was such a huge success. Maybe that's reactionary to put in Doctor Strange 2. But I think that'll be cool if we get to see some live action animation. Like we haven't seen that in a Marvel film yet. Tarantino did it. A bunch of really great directors have done it. But as far as it being their back history, I don't think so. I think we're going to get the whole multiverse. This is Earth 616. This is Earth 313. Blah 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 kind of thing, where everyone has their own backstories. But like the prime Earth will be Earth 616, which is the MCU. Right now. I mean, that's where Loki comes from. It was in the opening credits on his file where it says he's from Earth 616. So
yeah. So go on.
Let's go.
No,
you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, all I was thinking was that I think they're not going to want to make it too difficult to follow, because we have to remember that the MCU isn't. I mean, of course, it is about that they do take inspiration from the comic books, but I don't think they're going to go as far into like the universes as you might do in, say, some of the comics, because I think that might get too confusing for a lot of general audiences, which is why they're testing it to death. This movie, they are like testing that film, screen testing that film with so many different audiences, because they want to make sure that the people understand what the hell's going on. And I think if they get into this kind of, there will be different universes in the film, but I think they're definitely going to keep 616, which is the MCU, as the main universes and the one they could probably just keep on coming back to.
Well, it's not like I can see that for general audiences. I don't think for comic book fans are not too unfamiliar. I mean, if you watch the CW Crisis, the one before the last, they introduce that whole everyone else is on these different worlds and you have portals, right?
Yeah.
And now that we know that portals can open up now that we know portals can open up to other parallel or universes, other Earths, like they did in No Way Home, that's like it's easy, right?
Yeah. Comments?
Yeah, okay.
So Raj says Doctor Strange 2 is going to be insane. Another must-see movie in May. Yeah, I can't think of any other films that's coming out in May off the top of my head. But yeah, it's definitely the one I'm really looking forward to seeing. What else do we have? We have confirmed Mephisto in Doctor Strange 2. Well, again, Mephisto, I don't think we're ever going to see him in the MCU.
No, I don't. Maybe as a rabbit again. But
yeah. Did they ever get... they didn't do anything with that rabbit, did they? In WandaVision?
No, I don't remember.
No. This is interesting from Johan saying Shang-Chi and Eternals underperformed. They had to bring in big familiar guns. I wouldn't say Shang-Chi underperformed. I do think Eternals did, and I think they're looking. I mean, again, we both really like that film, don't we? I think you do, James. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
what?
Didn't you like Eternals?
I liked Eternals. It didn't blow me out of the water, but I liked the visuals and I liked the direction of it. The characters could have used some work. The story arcs could have used some work, but I mean, it wasn't horrible. I mean, it was good. I don't think I'd watch it again for a long time. Just like Shang-Chi, which I can't believe Shang-Chi. They got the cinematographer of The Matrix, and it still looks like that basic Marvel movie. They're kind of disappointed to me. But I don't, again, see, Marvel works so far ahead that I don't think it was reactionary that Shang-Chi and Eternals, if they underperformed or not, it would change what they were doing with Doctor Strange. But if you're talking about cameos, then you might be right, Johan. Yeah. By the way, Johan is admin on a Zack Snyder group on Facebook, so definitely search it out. It's a big group, and they have a lot of solid posts.
Brilliant. Who else is there anything
We
else?
got Leroy Kong in the house.
Great
hey,
lad.
Leroy, no
Thank you, Leroy.
spoilers. Just joking.
You never forgiven him for that.
Oh, I have.
Have you even seen James Bond? Like,
No,
No
I
Time to
haven't.
Die.
I don't have to see it now because Leroy told me the ending, which I would have found out a day after it came out anyway. So
Yeah.
in this business, we don't, to stay away from spoilers is rare, but I managed to do it for a few properties. So
Oh, Crow's Nest, Court of Owls and Talons in the next Batman movie. Well, the thing is, this a segue?
no, well, we're just taking
no.
comments for now. And
Yeah, that's an interesting comment because that's something that Robert Pattinson said recently, that he'd really like to see the Court of Owls in a Batman sequel. That would really work, especially in this what looks to be this Matt Reeves universe of the Batman. The Court of Owls would work really well. They're such a great addition to like Batman's rogues gallery.
It adds so much mythology to the city of Gotham and the history of the Waynes as well. I mean, the Waynes have been all over the place in like the last 300 years. But do you think Robert Pattinson is just he's just catching up to the comics now? So he's saying this because before he didn't know that Batman was a detective. He said that.
Yeah, right? I think Robert Pattinson's knowledge of Batman, I think he's definitely read quite a few of the Batman comics and is a fan of them. I wonder whether he's more of a fan of the animated series, because sometimes when I hear him talk, he does tend to talk about some of like the 90s Batman animated shows rather than the comics themselves, and also the movies. He's a big fan of the movies, so I think his knowledge of Batman is not as extensive as, you know, a lot of DC fans, because he hasn't read a lot of these comics, and I don't think he would have read the New 52. Again, there's nothing wrong with not having read the New 52, because let's be honest, it's not brilliant. I've read the whole Batman run of the New 52, and the Court of Owls were great, but once that whole story arc stopped, it got really bad.
New 52 is when I dropped off. I mean, I read Batman and I read a few other series, but that was like once, and then Rebirth came out. I was like, really? You guys already kind of lost me.
DC Comics have been in a bit of a weird place for quite some time, and I think the New 52, it started off so strong, especially with Batman, and then the Court of Owls, and then it started doing some weird stuff, some time jumping as well, which I didn't. It just got a bit too weird and a bit too wrapped into itself. And the others, I mean, I read a bit of the Detective Comics from the New 52 as well, but not really my thing. But the best thing that the New 52 did was introduce the Court of Owls, which are really, really cool. Kazakh says, pretty sure Reeves told Patterson his plan about the Court of Owls. So I think when you're talking about people that know the comics, I think Reeves is somebody that knows Batman inside and out. So he would have highlighted the Court of Owls as something that I think he's also talked about it, Matt Reeves, about the Court of Owls. So I think honestly, they're going to make a second movie. I think that's pretty evident. The film's
I would like Matt Reeves makes really good trilogies. I mean, I didn't expect much from Planet of the Apes, but the last two Planet of the Apes were great.
War for the Planet of the Apes is one of the best blockbusters I've seen ever. Like, I don't know why that film didn't really make people come to the cinema, which was weird. And it kind of came and went. But I remember going to see it in the cinema, and I was blown away by that movie, like genuinely blown away by it. And I thought he did the second one as well, which is really good. That is a really good trilogy, actually. The Planet of the Apes trilogy is a really good trilogy. So yeah,
Do you think
he's
they'll
someone.
Photoshop James Franco's head out on re-releases?
No.
They'll Photoshop it with Kevin Spacey.
Oh God. Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry to depress you there.
Yeah, that's a bit depressing. I did like James Franco for quite some time. I liked the film 127 Hours. He was good in that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh well.
I don't understand the comment, Reeves. There's also a rumor that Professor X is the animated version because of the wheelchair, but McAvoy and Professor X from the Bryan Singer films were both in wheelchairs. Right?
Yeah, they were.
So,
McAvoy ended up in a wheelchair, and
Yeah.
Professor and Sir Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier was always in a wheelchair. So
well, if you can expand on that, Reese, that'd be great.
yeah. Raimi is obviously having a ball with this film, says Jessica Blake, with all the horror / zombie elements. Yeah. Honestly, I look at this and I think, what did Scott Derrickson want to make? What film did he want to make? Because
if it was creative differences, I was gonna ask you this. Yeah, like what static do you think, or like how dark or deep do you think he was gonna go?
I think he wanted to go full on horror. And I do wonder whether the zombie aspect of it was something that he really wants to delve into. But then again, that's not really Scott Derrickson's MO. When you look at his movies, he likes kind of. I'm a massive horror guy, and I think Scott Derrickson's horror movies. He did Sinister,
Insidious,
and no, it wasn't Insidious that he did. It was.
I'll bring it up.
Scott Derrickson is one of these filmmakers that, I'm going to be honest. The Exorcism of Emily Rose was the film that he did. That is brilliant. That film is really good. And Sinister, I really did like it as well. But I'm going to be honest, a lot of his other films were really bad. The Day the Earth Stood Still is a film that he made, the remake, which is awful.
Still haven't seen that.
And Deliver Us from Evil, that's the other film that he did, is not good. That is not a good movie. Doctor Strange is actually probably one of his best films, but he's one of these directors. I consider him to be a bit like James Gunn light. James Gunn started off in that kind of area where he did a lot of horror. Scott Derrickson is a bit more straight horror than James Gunn was. James Gunn always had a bit of a kind of snarky vibe about him.
The trauma film vibe.
Yeah. But I mean Scott Derrickson, I think, he really wanted to. He wanted the movie to be more of a straight horror film. But that's self-evident. I think what Marvel wanted was this film to really change the course of the MCU. So, and someone like Sam Raimi, I think, would be more able to handle that than someone like Scott Derrickson. Sam Raimi's got a lot more experience doing these big blockbuster films. I really like Doctor Strange, but there's a lot wrong with that film as well. It's quite, as MCU movies go, it's a bit light, and there was a lot of promise, and I would like to see Scott Derrickson get to do like a straight horror MCU movie, but I'm not sure whether he would be the best director for it. I actually think Sam Raimi would be a lot better.
I've never seen any of his films except Doctor Strange. See, I'm not a big horror guy. I like the 70s psychological horror more. So,
but I think you can definitely see that he has a lot of he obviously he's part of like these new directors that have come out, that like the James Wans and the who's the other? There's another one that I'm forgetting the name of, but they all kind of came out from the round about the same time, and their movies. He's definitely, like, I would say he's the least interesting director out of all of them. There's an Australian one that did Upgrade. I forgot his name.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
also part of it. Like they all kind of came out at the same time. Lee Winnell, that's it. I think Lee Winnell to me is the best out of all of them. I think he is fantastic, but I just sometimes I do wonder. Like I don't want to be mean to him, but I'm a bit like Scott Derrickson is like kind of the poor man's James Wan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's saying something, because I don't think James Wan is a terrific filmmaker either. I think there's always problems with his movies, but I do wonder. I think like Scott Derrickson, he's doing like a sequel to Labyrinth or something, isn't he?
Yeah, just said
the-
that announced. right
Yeah.
there.
So that's.
I'm a bit worried about that.
I mean, I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of him. I don't think he's ever going to come back to the MCU. But I do wonder whether, like, the third Doctor Strange movie, they're going to be like, yeah, let's just make him like proper horror, because that's where that's like the root of the character. It's like rooted in horror. And if you read the comics, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of Lovecraftian stuff with Doctor Strange, and you really saw that in What If. Like, what if it was literally Lovecraftian monsters he was? And if you don't know, I'm a massive fan of H.P. Lovecraft as well. Not the racist stuff, but the worlds he built were insane, and I think they're really going to go into that. And also, that's another reason why I'm like a massive fan of Jonathan Major's casting, because he was in Lovecraft Country.
Right.
Which is a really good series, and that again, that is very much highlighting the more racist aspects of H.P. Lovecraft's work, and it's a very good show. If you haven't watched that, I would highly recommend that show. It messes with the mind a bit. Yeah. Right. So Johan then says, "I want to watch it for Captain Carter. The rest." The rest they can shove in whoever the hell they want. I mean, yeah, it would be good to see Hayley Atwell come back and play Captain Carter. I think she deserves it. Hayley Atwell she's going to be very busy. She's got the Mission Impossible movie coming out. She might be in the other one as well. And then if she gets to do a Captain Carter film, oh God.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be good. Very good character. Dan Plum says, every party needs a pooper, so I guess I'll be it. I don't think there's enough runtime. I don't think there's enough runtime to have a satisfactory appearance of half these cameos. I agree with you, Dan. You're not a downer. You're not. I've been saying this the whole time. I think there's too much in this movie.
What? You lie!
Yeah, no, I don't. That's how I feel. I feel like there might be a bit too much, and I feel like it might be a bit overwhelming. That I mean, if this movie ends up being 3 hours long, which the Batman is, by the way, and the Batman probably has just as many characters as this Doctor Strange film, judging by some of the recent leaks we've been hearing about that film. But yeah, I mean, again, I would take a lot of these confirmed rumors with a pinch of salt. I don't know how many of them are actually going to be in the movie. Spooky Bat says, people forget that Vision can change his appearance. Ooh, so I think maybe White Vision is hiding as a character in the movie. Yeah, that's a really good point. And also, Viz, as Wanda calls him, is mentioned in the trailer by Wanda. So that would be interesting. Who? Oh God. Oh dear. But yeah, which character do you think he might be masquerading as? That'd be interesting to know. Reese75 says, if Doctor Strange fails, then Sam Raimi's career is over. No, you can't. No, and also
No.
Doctor Strange isn't going to fail. This film is got the marketing, like honestly, everyone's going to see this film. Everyone. It's gonna be just as popular, if not more, as Spider-Man: No Way Home, especially when all the news of all the cameos in this film comes out. It's going to be
Right.
a pretty big thing. That's something that's actually quite interesting. Spider-Man: No Way Home proved that cameos do matter, and the really good cameos can make people go to the cinema over and over and over again. So if someone like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, if they're all in this movie, that alone is going to make people want to see this film as many times as they possibly can.
I think they were smart for showing his voice or letting us hear his voice and kind of seeing him in that Illuminati scene. Be like, okay, yeah, you guys are on the right track. There's a bunch of cameos. I mean, they had to do that. And if they didn't have a bunch more, then they wouldn't have let that out of the gate right away, right?
Yeah, definitely. Right, shall we? Oh, technically speaking, 90% of Sam Raimi's movies have failed. Dan, you're gonna have to back that up with some facts, because
we're gonna have to. You know what? We'll just ban Dan from the chat and from editing any videos anymore. Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man 1 and 2 definitely did not fail. I wouldn't say the Evil Dead films failed. I mean, they were small independent movies that were made on a shoestring budget, and I'm pretty sure Evil Dead 2 made money, probably quite a lot of it. And then the other one, ban the Dan.
Do you want?
I like that.
Do you want to move on to the Batman, and then we'll bring in some guests?
Yes, very quickly. We kind of mentioned it anyway, but the Batman, apparently, according to a what's the word I'm looking for? A casting sheet. Yes. Okay, I've been trying to learn this guy's name. Barry Keoghan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The guy that's in Eternals. He is apparently going to be playing a version of the Joker in the movie, and he's the actual. I think they call him an Arkham inmate. Is that what they call him in the cast listing?
Yeah.
So like this is, I mean, again, it actually goes back to quite some time ago, where his brother posted on Instagram saying, "I'm so happy that my brother's been cast as the Joker."
That's right. I forgot about that.
And like Barry before was down as a police, like some sort of he part of the GCPD.
He's playing Merkel. Like if you've read The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, Gordon's, or I think it was Year One, but Gordon's cop friend is Merkel, and he's been kind of like a mainstay through all like these arcs in the comic books. So that's who he's supposed to be playing. So I forgot about that. His brother kind of spoiled it on Instagram, like ages ago.
And then he had to take that down. Like I covered that a long time ago, and then you showed me the article today. I was like, oh wow, I think it's pretty much nailed on that he's going to be playing a version of the Joker in this. And honestly, that would be such a bad picture,
right?
But that would be terrific casting, because I think he is an insanely good actor. Like, if anyone's going to play that role, like, you know, I think he would be definitely the best actor to play the role since Heath Ledger. No disrespect to Jared Leto, but I think he suits the role a lot more than Jared did. And he's got he's the thing about Heath Ledger, he had like almost this reserved quality to him as a person and as an actor, and then you really got to see him kind of unleash his whatever it was when he did an incredible performance in The Dark Knight. Right. And it was one of those things where people were like, not sure when the casting was confirmed. It's like, really, that guy from Brokeback Mountain, you're going to get him to play the Joker? It was incredible casting, because he's just a terrific actor, literally a chameleon, and he wasn't trying to do something. He had a very specific idea when he went into that role, and he really kind of became that character. And I think Jared Leto tried to take that to the next level. It just didn't work. In what we saw, even including the extra added footage stuff in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'm really sorry, but I did not think he was that good in that movie either. And there's just something about his version of the character that I just did not believe. I did not feel it was believable. I always constantly felt like it was a guy in makeup trying to be weird. Whereas,
I don't know. I thought it was a good rendition of a post-apocalyptic Joker. You know,
Well,
I liked it better than Suicide Squad Joker, to be honest with you.
He was
'Cause we
definitely
never
better
really got
than
to
that.
see him.
But yeah, we never really got to see his version of the character in that movie. But I do think there's an element of that with his performance. I think there's an element of overselling the role and, you know, caring more about how the character looks rather than really thinking about his motivations.
You lie!
Again, this is how I feel about it. So I'm being very honest with you guys. I think Barry Keogh is in the same category as Heath Ledger as far as actors are concerned. He's someone that thinks very carefully about how he's portraying certain characters. I actually thought he was one of the best things about Eternals.
In Eternals,
yeah, he was so good.
Yeah,
in Eternals.
he was great.
And he's one of these guys that's been around for quite some time. He's actually really quite young, but he's been around for a number of years and has been in like what was the film? He was in 71, which is a film that I really, really liked. The Killing of a Sacred Deer and Dunkirk. Yeah, he's been acting for a heck of a long time. But the film that I remember him being really good in was the Killing of a Sacred Deer, where he is just so creepy in that movie. He was also recently in The Green Knight as well. Calm with Horses, which is apparently a really good film. I'm looking at his
yeah, I know, but I think his best performance was in Superbad, yeah, and Kick-Ass too.
You're thinking of someone. No, he didn't.
Doesn't he look like McLovin though?
No, he doesn't look anything like McLovin.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you.
What happened to him, by the way? He was in everything and then nothing.
For Mint Plus, I think if they cast him in the Batman as well, and you can have like two, like who is it? Who's the Joker? Is it McLovin or is it the guy from Eternals?
Oh dear. Anyway, I like the idea of him playing Joker, and I think he would suit Robert Pattinson's Batman very well. I think that's something that I'd really like to see. Because when they announced that Paul Dano was going to be the villain, he doesn't look anything like him.
He totally does.
That is so mean. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He totally does, man.
Well, they just have the same coloring, the same hair color. Like, I'm sorry, but the McLovin, what's his name again? I can't even remember his name. He was actually really good in Kick-Ass.
Yeah, he was.
Was he in both of them?
You know what?
Just in one of them?
He looks like this guy right here.
That's so mean. He doesn't know what's going on.
Hey, how's it going?
Sam Raimi is not successful.
Oh dear. Dear. Anyway, should we bring in some people?
Yeah, you want to talk? Give Bobbi like 5 minutes to talk about Animal Crossing?
Yes.
All right, and then we'll bring the rest in.
Yeah.
Hi, Bobbi.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Ah, I see me there, I think. Okay.
You can't hear us?
And then we'll bring the rest in.
Okay.
I think there's a delay. I think because you're probably watching this on a TV or something behind.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Ah, I see me there, I think.
Okay, Bobbi, we'll do a test later on with you.
Hi.
There's a delay on that, isn't there? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Hey,
First of all, happy birthday, Charlie.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Happy
Thank
birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Oh man, the close kind of scared me.
Yeah, I don't,
Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't realize, man. You're a young pop, man. You're such
Yeah, the beard is very deceptive, man. The beard's very deceptive.
Oh,
I got it when I was younger, so I could kind of get away with stuff. But now I'm just kind of here to stay.
right. Oh, you're so adorable. Happy birthday, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Did I hear McLovin Joker when I was in the waiting room?
Yeah, this is James saying that
James is out of his mind.
he is completely out of his mind. He's being mean. Being mean to both McLovin and Barry Keoghan, or whatever he's called.
Okay, so I was speaking from my mind, and that's not okay. But you were speaking from your mind earlier, Edward, and that's okay.
Yes,
Hey, it wasn't okay for me.
No, it's never okay for you, Plum.
This is evil. James. This isn't the real James.
That's just you can see it, but he's got the goatee and everything. If you were to shave,
go over there and hit the fucking like button. All right, you hit it now. You motherfucking hit the fucking like.
Wow, that's such a great clip.
You want some Amber Heard?
No.
Oh, jeez, it didn't take too long. Yeah, she's bad.
No,
just bad.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that movie again, or Amber Heard again. We'll talk about that movie again, but just not that scene.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear. Right. So, what, James? What's the plan? What do you want to talk about with these guys? Everything, anything.
Peacemaker. Let's talk about Peacemaker.
Yes, Peacemaker, because I haven't seen a single episode.
No,
this show.
Really?
Not a single episode.
Wow.
I made Dan watch it on Friday.
So
you made me.
So go on, talk about it. I'll put you guys all on mute. I'll turn off everything so I can't hear anything.
Right. I just want to clarify that Peacemaker is not actually available in the UK. So it really is. It's not worldwide. No. So when you're hearing stories about it's the biggest global thing. Well, it's not available globally. It's mainly the US and a few other countries. So a lot of what I've been seeing is just through YouTube clips and what I've been seeing on Twitter and Instagram.
Damn.
Yeah, you got pretty reactionary after just watching YouTube clips there, Raj.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, well, I think that was the problem as a whole. I think it was the cameo in the end. At the very last Peacemaker, and I think. And I think the problem was that it wasn't necessarily the joke itself. I think there was varying things that were happening, but a lot of fans that are very, very much that support the Snyderverse, I think they saw that as like they saw it as an insult to Snyder's work. It's almost like they were laughing at his work, and essentially laughing at them. Because the whole
dude, I'm a Snyder fan. I didn't find anything insulting about it. I thought the whole episode, I'm like, all they need to do is show one Zack Snyder Justice League character, and everyone will be happy. And it shows it still exists in the DC film universe, and it's all good. And then, man, they had the whole league in there, even though you only saw a couple characters. And then I went on Twitter. I'm gonna boot you, Dan. And then I went on Twitter, and everyone was so upset.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. I think that's reasonable, but it was. Yeah, you know what it was, what it became. I think eventually, Peacemaker and even James Gunn, it became irrelevant. It was just fans attacking other fans, because, like, for me personally, like I remember when I saw it, I just thought I made a comment. And I was like, you know what? I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's all canon. We're in a multiverse. Like, we can have different characters being different variations. So. Well, we just don't know, right? And then it was those that was pro. I don't even want to say pro James Gunn, but very anti-Snyder anyway. They just went on the attack, and it became reactionary. It was a back and forth thing. And
wasn't it the really intense Snyder fans that took offense to it right away, that posted stuff about it first? That's what I saw.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think there was a lot of fans that were very much against, what they saw with James Gunn, with that cameo, only because I think there's a case where there's just a lot of frustration, and they just see everything that if they see it as an attack and they just see, it's kind of like, imagine if Kevin Feige came out and said, "Oh, multiverse of madness. Oh, you want to have a cameo with the X-Men? Oh, you want to have a cameo? Well, what about a cameo of Deadpool? Yeah. Oh, you want all that? No, you're not getting it. No, fuck you."
Well,
Like,
they did the same thing in WandaVision with Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people were displeased, but they didn't go on the attack, and they didn't start attacking other directors or the showrunners of WandaVision.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Raj, sorry, but like Kaz, like that scene was so bad, and he goes, horrible dialogue. It was 2 freaking lines, Kaz. It was just 2 lines. That's it. How can it be horrible dialogue if it was 2 lines? And it was a joke that they had been peppering out through the whole season.
Right.
And
which I think the joke played better before the cameo happened.
Yeah, and Momoa was on board, and Ezra Miller was on board.
Yeah. See, it's all reactionary. I mean, I think like it's fair from the outside where people are going, yeah, like a lot of the Snyder fans jumped on it. I think the thing that a lot of people aren't seeing is just the antagonizing language and just people like, just trolls basically that are getting personal. Like, it's, for me personally, it's hard for me to stay civil after a certain point when people are telling me to go fuck my mother at a certain point.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's why I don't engage, really.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and,
the internet, baby.
Exactly. Right. Well, I mean, I post. Well, that's the thing. Like, I saw something today. Like, someone was reacting to a tweet, and I just went, "Yeah," and I just ignored it because it's a waste of energy. I think that's the problem. It was just, I think the reaction to it, obviously, it became different fandoms just attacking each other, and it was just ridiculous. But I think more than anything, I think it would have worked better that cameo if it was in maybe the Black Adam movie. Something a little bit.
Well, no, if it was that in the Black Adam movie, then there would have been even a bigger backlash.
But I think the reason why it would have been better because they wouldn't have made that joke about him fucking fish. So I think it may have been a little bit more
funny though.
That is such a James Gunn joke. It is such James Gunn written all over it.
Yeah, it's funny, and it played well because he's supposed to be an asshole who no one likes, so he's gonna lie and embellish about everything. And I thought it was all good until they did the cameo. I thought the cameo was a bad call.
I thought it was fun. I liked it.
I mean, it's whatever, but like, I think it spoiled the joke.
But
it's
the way
it's
I
like
see
repeating
it
the
is,
punchline twice.
Okay, well, whatever. The fish joke, yeah, if it spoiled that, yeah. But having them in a larger picture, I think was great because you're watching all these Marvel solo films, right, or series, and like, where's the Avengers? Where's the Avengers? Why don't the Avengers show up with this big world cataclysmic event is happening, right? At least DC addressed that and said, "Oh yeah, well, we have the Justice League. Why aren't they here taking on these butterflies and this big cow?" And then they did show up at the end, and they said, "Oh, you're effing late." And I like that. That was like they actually had the balls to do that. Meanwhile, Marvel doesn't do that. They make up some lame excuses. So
yeah, well, I mean, I would agree with that. I think the other thing, why some fans may have took a little bit of an offense to it is that they did feel like the Justice League, especially Aquaman, was being made fun of, and in an extension, Snyder was being made fun of. So it just, it sounds like, I know it sounds.
I don't see that, man. And
I get it.
I think he's right.
It's just, but it's emotional. This is what I'm saying. It's emotional. Like, it's the prefrontal cortex is shutting down, and like the emotional side is taking over. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I mean, all the people watching thinking that like I'm hating on Snyder fans or no, go watch my Why the Film Industry Needs to Restore the Snyderverse and watch me and Edward's video, The History of the Snyderverse.
No one's saying that you're hating on them.
No, but don't the replay crew be like, oh, no. Trust me, because like Roger said, very emotional. I'm part of the Snyder fandom, but I feel seems like every day I feel farther and farther apart because there's just so much hate and vitriol and like we can't have nice things anymore. Like the cameo was nice. It was a nice nod. Yeah, if they find it insulting to the Snyderverse, I understand that. But it's the same characters in a different playground, right? Before we go any further, I would like to get an outside opinion on the Spooky Bats. She was there when I watched the cameo in that episode. What do you think, Spooky?
Honestly, my thoughts on this are I don't quite understand why everybody is all up in arms because in the long run, you look at it and it's bringing together James Gunn and the Snyderverse entirely. Like, I looked up from reading just for that part because James got so excited about it. And I was excited for it. And I'm not a fan of either of the universes. So that's just me. Like, I caught the fish, but the whole fish joke and whatnot, and I thought it was funny.
Right.
You know, because I'm general audience, right? I'm looking at this from the aspect of people who don't know the comic very well and really don't follow the movies all that well. So if I want to go and watch Peacemaker and see that, I'm going to be excited.
Yeah,
because I think it brings everything together.
Yeah.
I think you bring up a really good point there. No, I think you bring up a really good point that first off, I find it. I mean, I only know about the scene in particular. I haven't actually watched the episode, but what I do know is James Gunn, and I know his sensibility, and I know from the minute he got the Suicide Squad gig, he wanted to make that joke about Aquaman. I know that. Like that's and also it's a joke that has been around. Like it's an old. Let's be honest, it's an old joke. It's even in like there's an element of that joke in the Family Guy episode as well.
Yeah.
So it's and there's
what was
there's
in Robot Chicken as well.
Yeah, Robot Chicken as well. They did that as well. But what I don't understand. First of all, I don't really see Aquaman. I mean, I know he's in Justice League, but he's still part of the DC universe. Like he's got an Aquaman 2 movie coming out, so I wouldn't really see that as an attack towards the Snyderverse fans. I would see it as an attack towards just Aquaman in general, and a bit because Aquaman. Let's be honest, Aquaman fundamentally is a bit of a stupid character. Literally, he is a stupid character. And
wow, shots fired.
No, but that's something that I like about this is that James Gunn knows that, and I think people have got to realize that you've got to take these things with a pinch of salt, and you can't take them as being so effing serious because they're not. It's fun. It's all a bit of fun, and I think there are people online that go way too far. And this is funny because James was like, "Have you seen?" Like he messaged me, he's like, "Have you seen all the stuff around the Peacemaker funnel?" I was like, "Dude, I haven't been watching Peacemaker. I can't watch it anywhere. It's really annoying." I mean, I want to download it, but I don't want to download it illegally. I'd like to watch it legally, which is impossible. And incidentally, we don't know when it's going to come in the UK or in France. They're not making that very clear.
No.
And
but to go back to your point, Edward, about him knowing Aquaman sucks. James Gunn does take a lot of the characters that kind of suck or not well known, and he turns them into big characters. And Zack Snyder did the same thing for Aquaman. But is Aquaman off limits now for those kind of jokes? I mean,
see, I would make the argument. Like, I would say no, yes and no. I would say I think the problem is that with the DCEU for what it is. Aquaman isn't really that well established. I mean, he's only been in like maybe 2 or 3 films in terms of who is he as a character. I mean, you can make the joke
for himself, though.
Oh yeah, of course. But like for the general audience, I mean, they've only maybe really seen him in Aquaman. I mean, it's one of those things. Like if you made the joke about Batman being an orphan, like people would be like, "Oh, that's really funny. Oh, that's out of character." Whereas some people may go, "Oh, well, Aquaman's a joke character. He fucks fish." And I know it's not logical. I'm just pointing a different perspective on it.
I'm pretty sure they had a joke for Batman as well, but they cut Batman out.
Yeah.
No, he's there. He's lurking in the shadows. Batman wouldn't be front and center. He's like taking evidence. He's collecting evidence, and he's like figuring out what happened. That's what Batman does.
He's the only one doing his job.
Yeah. We haven't heard from Charlie yet, and then we're gonna bring Edwin in too. I just noticed he's sitting backstage.
All right. So I haven't been in the trenches like some other people when it comes to the the beef between the Snyderverse people and the people that enjoy Peacemaker. Me, I grew up being a DC AU fanboy. That's really got me into the universe. So this version of Aquaman to me is kind of similar to the one from the animated universe. I enjoy Momoa's Aquaman.
Yeah.
I felt like the joke was funny. I laughed at the shit. I thought it was hilarious. And Peacemaker, I enjoyed Peacemaker. I really did. Like, I love it when kind of what Gunn did with Guardians, where you can take lesser known characters, like especially with Peacemaker's on his perspective. Like, no, I was a DC fanboy. I've never heard of that guy until Suicide Squad, and he made me like him. Like the way he wrote, I don't know if he was in charge of doing the script or if he just directed, but whoever wrote the script did a great job. Like, I love Cena. I feel like his lines were great for him. He delivered them well. It was funny. One thing I really enjoyed about, I think I kind of talked about it with James and Clint the other night, with the running jokes of the show. The writing is so great because they take running jokes and then they turn jokes into impactful moments in the show. Like, I think like one of the ongoing jokes was his dad being a racist, and they kept like harping that and making jokes about that. And then one episode it flips, and you're seeing like him being a racist affecting Peacemaker's childhood and his development as a character. They do that really well. The jokes are like, there's not a lot of throwaway jokes in this. Like, even the diebeard shit like came back at the end.
Yeah, that became very emotional.
Dude. Right. And there are no throwaway jokes in this show, and I love it. Like, everything's done meticulously and with intent, and I really enjoy that about the show. It's great. Like, I enjoy the show a lot. And as far as in regards to the cameo at the end, I feel as though the cameo was a good thing because, like, for me, being a DC fanboy, it was cool to see, or to know now that the universes are aligned in one. Because I feel like they're going to kind of get into different universes pretty soon with probably Black Adam with that movie, because like the JSA is in that to some extent. So it's great. It's good to me to see good content coming for DC in the future. I have faith in it now.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. I mean, over the last 5 years, I mean, it's been a bit of a mess, like with DCEU ever since Snyder left. But I think that is something after the merger that needs to be addressed. Is like all these universes, because at the moment we've got different pocket universes, and I mean, it's a good thing because we've got Joker, which is great, but that transcended from comic book viewers to like people like me who watch like big award-winning films and indie films as well. But yeah, I think that hurts the DC. That's been hurting the DCU in that, unlike the MCU, Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home, MCU Endgame, they're not just films, they're cultural events. It's the World Cup, it's the Euros. I mean, it's must see. Like, you can't miss it. And to be fair, like, DC really hasn't had anything like that since Batman vs Superman. Really.
See, I don't necessarily. Oh, my bad. Continue on that.
No, you go ahead, Charlie. Raj goes on his rant, so we got to come off.
I think because obviously they tried to kind of copy the Marvel format really early on. I think that was a detriment to them. I think what they should really do is just keep these separate universes and just tell great stories in these pockets, and maybe at some point down the line bring them together. But Marvel started off telling each individual story. Like, we got Iron Man, we got Captain America, we got a bad Hulk movie. Like, we got all these movies. And eventually they brought them together over time once you got familiar with them. Take your time and introduce Robin Pattinson Batman, introduce Peacemaker, like, build characters up, and then once you're at a point to where when you can bring them together. But just make us fall in love with the characters first before you just try to throw them in a team together. Make me care about the people on this team.
Yeah, but that's the old WB regime. They wanted that Marvel Avengers money, and that's how everything got messed up. But we're not going to rehash that. But we should move on because it is getting a bit late for Edward. So
you guys can say, okay.
Oh, he's all sleepy now.
Let's say happy birthday to Charlie again, everyone.
Appreciate it, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. I'm old now.
Thanks for joining.
Oh, you're not.
PinoyVideoGamer.
Hey.
So we're going to kick out 4 of you, and then we're going to talk to Bobbi about Animal Crossing, and then we're going to call it night.
Cool. You guys take care.
Thank you, guys.
We kick out Plum here.
It's okay, man.
I'm just joking. I love you, Plum.
Stop being mean to Plum.
I have to. He was bugging
Bye, guys.
Bye, Spooky.
Bugging you? How was I bugging you, James?
April, May, March.
Just one after the other, all going. Hey, Animal Crossing. this is where we get into the really fun stuff.
Okay, Edward, I wanted to tell you that, yeah, you can come pick up your bells anytime. Just let me know.
Okay, so I want to explain what's been going on. James and I have been getting back into Animal Crossing, and
yes, I used to.
Yeah.
I actually met Bobby on Animal Crossing in like was
City
it
Folk.
2008?
3, 4.
No, it was.
Yes.
If it was City Folk, then it would have been around then. If you what were you playing on? Were you playing on the
Nintendo
Wii?
On the Wii, yeah. Yes, it would have been back then. It would have been 3 or 4.
Really?
Yes.
No,
Well,
was
my
after,
first Wii. On my first Wii, I still have the game.
It was after I went to Montreal, and then after I had the studio in Hamilton, or during the time I had the studio. Anyways, it's been a long time.
You used to have to go into the bathroom and get the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's when I had the studio. Yeah, because the Wi-Fi point wasn't working, and I had to put the Wii in the bathroom, and I had extension cords and everything. But anyways, there's a long time ago that Bobby and I used to play City Folk on the Wii. I didn't think I'd get into a game like this. And then Spooky Bats got a Switch for her birthday.
Yes,
and now Edward, he already had Animal Crossing. So
I had Animal Crossing, yeah.
Yeah. We teamed up with Bobby last week, actually. We got to get her streaming on it. But
this is something that we want to do. we want to start streaming Animal Crossing, maybe on our Twitch channel. But like Bobbi is the Animal Crossing queen. Like honestly, if you I went to see her island on Friday, I think. And this is in one of her islands. You've got 3, haven't you? You've got 3 different switches.
Yes.
With 3 different Animal Crossing islands, which is just terrific. I love this story because Animal Crossing is first off, it was called New Horizons, this new one, and it was released right at the start of the pandemic. So March 2020, I think it was when it was released.
March 19th. I started playing March 19th at 9:45 in the evening because I'm in California and we got the download at 9 o'clock, and it took it about 45 minutes to download until I could figure it out, and I've been playing ever since.
Well, you can tell because the island that we got to see, which I'm forgetting the name of now. Do you want to give us the name of the island?
Alcrazal.
Alcrazal.
It's ALCHRIZOE. It's Al for my grandson Alex, Chris for my grandson Christopher, and Zoe for my granddaughter, whose birthday is on the 29th of this month.
Oh, well, happy birthday. The 29th of this month. So some years.
Well, she's a leap year baby. We're going to celebrate. Yeah, so, she don't get a birthday this year. Poor baby.
Oh, dear. So she's actually put how old is she really then?
She's 6. She's 6. She'll be 6. Okay. This will be her 6th birthday.
Okay.
And my grandson, the Chris, he told me, he came when right after she was born, he came up to me and he said to me, Grandma, do you really, he was 12? He was 12 or 13 years old at this time, maybe somewhere around there. Came up to me and he said to me, Grandma, do you realize that she's going to be 81 before she can legally drink?
Oh dear.
Because she doesn't have a birthday except every 4 years.
I know, yeah, but being a leap year baby is not easy.
No, it's not.
But so this game.
So why 3 islands?
Yeah, why 3 islands?
Okay, all right. I held off getting a Switch until I knew for sure that they were releasing Animal Crossing on it. And then I said, yeah, I have to have it. And then, am I still on?
Yeah, you're on.
Still on.
Oh, okay, because there's something else came up on the screen and I can't see real well. But anyway,
just watching.
My birthday's the middle of January, and I held off until then to get it. And I'm going, okay. And then like the 16th or 17th of January, I said, I'm not going to wait any longer. I don't want to not get one because I know how it was when New Leaf came out on the DS and you couldn't get the DS that you wanted. So I took and I bought the Switch. I bought my blue and red one, and I bought that. 2 days later, my son-in-law texted me in Facebook, and he said, "Have you seen this?" And it was the Animal Crossing was being released. So I had to have the Animal Crossing one. So I ordered that, and I got that, and then about a year and a half ago, I ended up getting finding a special edition, brand new, for $300, and I got it. I couldn't pass it up.
That's the Animal Crossing edition, yeah, of the Switch.
Yes. So I have two Animal
nice
Crossing editions in this one. I have one South Town and two North Towns. And what I'm thinking about possibly doing is getting another one and starting a brand new game and starting it from, and then like everybody can see us play and stuff like that.
Wow, I think you're probably the reason why Nintendo's been doing so well. It's like...
My nephew calls me. My nephew tells me that I have a special card right for Fujiyami.
But what this whole experience for me has done has opened me up to this incredible world of Animal Crossing. Like I played New Leaf on the 3DS. That was my first introduction to Animal Crossing, and I played it for a bit. And I built a nice island. But the thing is, I wasn't playing online, so it was very slow. If you're not playing with other people online, it can be a bit of a grind, this game, because in order to do anything, you need to get bells and grow things. And it takes quite a while. So it's one of those games that you have to come back to every day. Playing online is a completely new experience for me because you get to visit other people's islands, which is an incredible experience, as it was on Friday. And literally, my wife was sick this weekend, so she was sleeping on the sofa pretty much for the whole weekend, and I was next to her, and I just played. I think I played Animal Crossing for 40 hours this weekend. So I've really got into this game to the extent that literally it's made me stop playing another video game that I play way too much, which is FIFA. I just play that game just to basically do what I do in Animal Crossing, which is level people up in that game. Yeah, it's I was shocked by your island because it made me realize like how much of an important game this is to so many people, and how important it must have been to so many people during the pandemic as well. It's like such an incredible escape.
I have a friend that the people that I play with, I've played with for years and years and years. I do have new player friends and stuff that I play with, but literally got probably 45 people that I've played with from the very beginning. Or picked up along the way. And where am I going with that? Oh, I don't remember. But my games, when I start my games and when I play, because I am one of the first ones in the group that get the games. I had New Leaf first. I had this one. So I do all the stuff and get all the bells and everything. And all those bells, they weren't gotten by doing the little tricks and the spinning of the thing and pulling the crowns off and all the different hacks and stuff you get. All of those bells I earned. So I like you guys, and that's why I let you have them.
I was going to say I haven't earned a single bell. No, I have.
That's okay. You don't have to. What I want to do is I want to make it so that you have your house. Up until the last upgrade, you'll have to pay for that one yourself. But the rest of them, I don't mind giving bells for. I don't mind giving anything and stuff like that because it makes the game more enjoyable for you.
It does. Yeah.
You don't have to grind.
The house bankrupt me. The house is the third bedroom, the third room in the house is bankrupt me.
Yeah. Well, wait. The last one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what is it? 3? I can't remember. It's like 1 million something. I really can't remember. I think maybe 1.2 million. I know
This
your
Tom
fourth
Nook guy,
thing.
This Tom Nook guy must be like so rich.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, he's the bane of our existence. But what the heck, So I hope people like hearing about this and everything. And really, if you guys want to play, let us know. You know, we'll get a stream up and going, and we'll all play Animal Crossing for a couple hours together.
With Prince Zodiac has a good question. Does this game have any conflict or trials to overcome? It's more about building your island and the community, and it's more about
no conflict other than your neighbors. Your neighbors will get into fights with each other, and then they come up to you and ask you to take them a present because they don't want to talk to them, and you know, that kind of conflict. But no, there's not conflict or anything. It's just a fun game, and it's relaxing, and it takes you out of the world of the killing people and hitting and beating people up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But there's also like customization of like your
oh
island.
My gosh,
We can set up
this
like
new
one section for like certain trees and fruit, and you can have a lot of fun if you like strategy games or games that where you build a world and you can set things up. It's kind of like I don't know. It's like whenever I'm playing it, it reminds me of Valheim a little bit, because you can do a lot of landscaping and bring up your trees. But the one I did want to ask Bobbi, if you're prepared for this, since we have you on here now, I think you knew this might have been coming. Can you tell us what it was like growing up in the time of? So we talked about this when we were talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Do you want to talk about this right now, or save it for another show?
It doesn't matter if you guys. Edward, are you tired?
I'm tired, but I've got time for this. I want to hear the story.
Okay, then we can touch on it now, and then we can talk about it more later. What do you want to know?
Sorry, Bobbi.
You got to remember,
Bobbi. Sorry, one second. Spooky, what do you think of Animal Crossing before we change subjects?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's one of those games that would drive me absolutely nuts because it takes forever.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the things. But see, Spooky, you can always time travel to the next day and just do things like that too. And there's no penalties for it. You know, like there was in the past games.
Yeah. But they obviously Nintendo obviously realized that they can't give people penalties for that anymore because it just takes so long to do it that way, like to do it the good way, which is doing it every single day. I know I've already gone forward on my Switch. I've set the time to different dates on my Switch.
I like the journey. I like finding stuff. So,
well, I gotta really tell you, my original game, it has been played every day since beginning, and I've not time traveled on that one time. The other two I can't say that about, but this one here, I don't do anything with that. But yeah.
Okay, so once upon a time in Hollywood era.
Okay, I was that was in 1968, 67, 68. I graduated from high school in June of 1967. So I could have been one of those hippie girls into that if I hadn't had the kind of upbringing I had, like my neighbors had and everything. My family kept me pretty well sheltered and everything, but I came of age in that time frame, and they ended up that it was very, very scary, after it happened. We didn't know what was going on, basically. And I've read and I've seen a lot of stuff since, and but it was pretty much that way. It was they would, there's so much stuff that has come out since.
Yeah.
My a side note to that, where I started working, my next door, the shop that was right next door was a hair salon, and the gentleman that owned it, his name was Vivi, and he trained under Sebring before Sebring died. And then he opened his shop in El Monte. Vivi did.
Oh, wow.
And then he got into drugs. And, that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of drugs. I never even smoked pot until I was 21. And first time I drank was 16. It was at a birthday party, or christening, and didn't drink again until after I was 21. I was one of the little goody girls, and so crazy stuff.
That time, I've literally just finished reading a book about all of that, about the Charles Manson story and everything that was happening in LA at that time, and it just sounds utterly bonkers. Some of the things that was going on. It wasn't real. It was very much a but that one didn't affect me as much as the Nightstalker thing, when he was around. Yes. Yeah. Well,
Because
that's another thing that was around about the same time, wasn't it?
I think that was in 87, 86, 87.
Because there's a Netflix documentary all about that, isn't there? The Nightstalker thing.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, that it was scary. That one there. I was married, and I was living in Baldwin Park. We weren't too far off the freeway, and when a lot of things that you guys didn't know about and everything, but he was hitting yellow houses, and he was hitting them that were like right off the freeway and in this area. He hit houses in not in my neighborhood or anything like that, but in the Whittier, Monterey Park, all around us.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let my husband open the windows. We sweltered. We had no fans, but I was petrified of having any kind of anything like that. I was so scared. I was never scared.
What do you think it was about the city in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s that, because it honestly, I can't really. I was born in 1990, so I can't really put. And I've never had an experience like any city that I've lived in. I mean, I lived in London when there was still is all the just random stabbings going on, but it must have been absolutely terrifying living in Los Angeles, especially in that era. It just sounds like it was insane during that time.
Well, I like I said, I was pretty well sheltered.
Yeah.
My family kept me kind of away from all of that and everything. But I've seen it from the outside. And the Stephen Parent, the one that, going back to the Manson one.
Yeah.
Stephen Parent, I ended up moving down the street from his parents after I had my daughter. They lived on the same street where I lived. And then I read the Helter Skelter book. I was reading it, and I was at my mom's.
Yeah.
And I got so scared. I asked her if I could stay overnight because I didn't want to go home. It was really, really, because they were another one that they did what they wanted to do. They didn't care who they hurt.
Yeah.
And but that was already after.
I will have to say that Helter Skelter has been pretty much discredited now.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Vincent Bugliosi book. Yeah, so
Bailey Sarin. Oh God, she did a fantastic upgrade on that.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Makeup and Murder.
Yeah, and honestly and truly, I can see it happening in that way a lot more than the other way. But they had to get him put away because he would have kept ruining everybody's lives.
There was the book that I just finished is called Chaos: The Truth Behind the Manson Murders. And that really does discredit Vincent Bugliosi's work, and it makes you realize that's probably one of the reasons why Los Angeles and New York as well, to a certain extent, was so mad during that period was because of what was going on behind the scenes, especially with the CIA, which is just insane to think. It's like, what are you doing? It's the advent of LSD, and then all of a sudden everything goes to pot.
Like... No, we didn't do that till after.
Yeah. But I suppose the moral of this story is that everyone should just play Animal Crossing.
Well,
just stay in that world.
It really keeps me sane and keeps me from going off the deep end and everything. And I can talk to friends, and I can, even though I can't go out and see them, I can talk to them on the phone. I can talk to them. We can play together and
your
and
family
everything.
too, right? Like it's a nice big community.
Yes. Yeah. You're my family. You're my community.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. On that note, I think we're gonna.
Let's end.
Thank you so much, Bobbi. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome, dear. You're welcome anytime. And let me know when you can come over so we can do. I can get you some bells out.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that soon. And I just want to go back to your island. It's so much more fun than mine.
Oh,
I think if you come over to my island, you'll think that I'm nuts because everything's so organized now.
By the way, the flowers, we had rain for 3 days. My island is covered in flowers. You guys have got to come get them. It's driving me crazy. I'll talk to you guys later. You have a great one. You're welcome, guys. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, Dan. I see you. And I can't see the one up above in the red. Oh, that's bye. I don't know his name.
That's a picture that Raj sent to Edward.
Peacemaker. I'm out.
Okay, guys. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, guys.
Take you guys all out again, and Edward's going to wrap up.
All right. Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for sharing and talking, and it's always lovely talking to you guys. And thank you so much for watching the show as well.
Likewise.
Oh dear. And I do apologize for my producer. He is insane.
Never apologize. Never apologize to me. All right.
All right.
Like and subscribe, please.
Yes, do that. Like and subscribe. Follow us everywhere at Small Screen Co. Follow James at this
42cut.com.
Subscribe, like, share, all the. And always love watching movies, TV shows, playing video games, and just be nice to everybody. Be nice to one another. There's no
family.
Yeah, there's no reason to be nasty. That's what I always say.
Be a big family.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
And we'll see you on.
It's okay with me.
So we're done. Are you busy?
We're done.
Are you busy, Edward?
I'm going to.
Very busy. What's going on?
Yes, you can follow Spooky on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.